In the first episode in Season 2 of House of the Dragon, we are shown the interaction between Jaehaerys Velaryon and Cregan Stark at the Wall, where they discuss the history of their two houses and a potential alliance in the war to come. While their conversation was cut short due to the letter received about Lucerys' death, I think that their discussion may have revealed something about the Starks, by hinting at their knowledge of Aegon the Conqueror's dream. The dream that foresaw the end of the world of men, that Viserys explained to Rhaenyra when naming her heir to the throne. I believe that when conquering the North, Aegon the Conqueror told Cregan's ancestor, Torrhen Stark, about his vision. The conversation begins with Jaehaerys mentioning that Torrhen Stark and the Conqueror treated at the Wall, which is a significant change from the books, suggesting that the Wall may have been important to, or perhaps the subject of, their meeting. Jaehaerys states that Torrhen Stark would have sooner died than bent the knee, unless he believed in the Conqueror to unite the realm, with which Cregan agrees. This implies that Torrhen did not swear fealty because he knew he would be defeated, but because he had reasons to believe it was the right thing to do. Remember, the Targaryens were already known to have foreseen the doom of Valyria, fleeing to Dragonstone only years before the Valyrian freehold fell. It could be that Aegon explained his dream and convinced Torrhen Stark that protecting against the threat from the north was of utmost importance. At the beginning of the episode, we are told that Torrhen introduced a Stark custom. At the start of winter, send 1 in 10 men from their house to man the night's watch. This can be seen as a way of increasing the amount of lowborns taking the black, as hearing of men as noble as the Starks joining the watch would be very inspiring, thereby improving its strength. While Starks have always carried responsibility for the Wall since its construction by their house's founder, Bran the Builder, establishing this tradition tells us that Torrhen Stark started taking the idea of protecting the Wall more seriously than his recent ancestors did. Something must have been the cause for his changed perspective compared to the people he learnt from. If Torrhen was informed, the knowledge of the Conqueror's dream would explain his increased attention to the Wall. Let us go back to Cregan. When Jaehaerys reminds Cregan about his father's oath to Rhaenyra, Cregan answers this by saying that his duty to the Wall is of more importance. Note that he specifically says the Wall and not the North. Starks are known to honor their oaths in full, yet Cregan values the protection of the Wall higher, which means he believes that wherever the threat may be, it is worth going against the core values of his house to protect against it. He also builds on this by bringing up how Jaehaerys and Alysanne, during a visit to the Wall, watched as Vermithor and Silverwing both refused to cross it. Seeing this would have reinforced the idea, for both Starks and Targaryens, that the threat beyond the Wall was far greater than the dragons of the south. When Jaehaerys asks Cregan what the Wall is really defending against, he simply replies with, death. This could mean that Cregan does not know the exact horrors of Aegon's vision, only that it would result in death, not just the death of many, but the death of the world of men. This theory hints at the possibility of the Starks having a similar tradition as the Targaryens, passing down the story of Aegon the Conqueror's dream from ruler to heir, in an attempt to keep the defense of the Wall as every ruler's highest priority. Whether or not the knowledge survived all the way down to Game of Thrones and Ned Stark is unclear, but without any events to remind the Starks about the seriousness of Aegon's words, the legend would have slowly faded over the years, to eventually be forgotten, making the Night's Watch the prisoner camp we see in Game of Thrones.